it's Kelly Ann and welcome to another video. So first off, my spirit animal is on my shirt. So if you're familiar with LuLaRoe, my cousin messaged me a few weeks ago and was like, they have pandas on clothes now. And so she's tried getting me this shirt about 5 times and we were finally successful. So I have so much to show you. It's ridiculous. So I'm just gonna jump into it, and it's gonna seem a little all over the place. Apologies, but it kind of is what it is. So last week I did get out my stitch for my friend, the Ionomy one, and if you look on the back, I have all the letters complete now except for filling them in. So I just need to finish filling in the Y, the M, and the O, and then this will be done. So I'm working on this. I'm trying to put a little bit in this. I want to finish it probably by the end of next week because I want to send it to him. I wanted to give it to him in person, but I just don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. And I know that it's supposed to be for his birthday, but that kept on getting pushed back because, again, I wanted to give it to him in person. But the anniversary of the company is coming up on Valentine's Day, or right at Valentine's Day. So I want to get it sent to him for that. So working a little bit on that so that way I can try and get that finished by the end of next week and send it out. I did have a new start, and I started the Lizzie Kate's Go Green series. Now, I have the buttons and all of that, but I don't think I'm going to use them. I also changed a lot of the colors, pretty much all of the colors. I'm using my own color palette. I'm kind of winging it with the colors. Like this bird is supposed to also be red. And I'm also putting them in a different order than what the pattern calls for. So I'm doing a lot of rogue stitching on this, and I'm totally fine and happy with that. So yeah, this was 2 nights of work. That's how far I got in 2 evenings. So pretty good start. And this is one, so the Ionomy I really want to finish in February to get sent to my friend. I want to work more on Go Green. And the next one, my only other WIP for this week that I can remember, is my Spring ABCs. And this one I should possibly finish this weekend, so I'm looking forward to that. And I know that I'm not spending too much time on everything, but I feel like so much to show you, and there are things that I would rather talk about, in all fairness. So I'm not going to take the hoop off because it's in perfect position to finish up this stitch, but I am going to unroll it so that way you can see it. So this is how far I've gotten. I've gotten all the way to the T. So there's T right there. So here we go. I absolutely love this stitch. I think last time I showed this, I still had a little bit of this left and the house for sure. So in the last like 3 days, I basically finished from here down in the last 3 days because I worked on it on my lunch break, and I also worked on it in the evenings because I really want to get this one finished. This is another one of my 12 to finish for my Quilt Guild challenge. So I really want to get that one finished. Then I think I will finish the winter one because I'm halfway through the winter one. I'm at M on the winter one. But I did already pull the colors for summer, and I pulled some really, really awesome colors in my opinion. So, and also the color changes on any of these things are going to be on my blog. I meant to get the final January post and the FFOs of January post posted yesterday, but I need to finish taking some photos and things like that. So it'll be posted either tonight or tomorrow at the latest. So look forward to that. And if you want to know my color changes and all the information, as you know, I've been putting the fabric and design information in the video on the screen, but thread colors and things like that will be on my blog. Okay, I got a little bit of happy mail this week. So Trisha of 3L Threads finished this really super cute pattern, and she sent it to me because she was done with it, and I told her that it was super, super cute, and so she said, I'll pass it on. So she passed it on to me. It just says needle and thread, really cute, small, simple. It has some back stitch, and it looks, I feel like there's satin stitches maybe. But super simple pattern. I cannot wait to kind of edge this up with some different colors. And then she also sent me, this is so sweet of her, she also sent me 2 Gentle Art limited edition colors. This one is called Peapod and this one is Cardinal. She wrote the colors on the back. Cardinal is beautiful, and so is Peapod. Thank you so much, Trisha. I wasn't expecting to get an extra little gift in there, but thank you. Yeah, so this is gonna have to get added onto my list of things to stitch for this year, which we'll actually get into that in a second. But yeah, so this is called Needle and Thread, designed by Elizabeth Foster. It's only 48 by 64, so I will definitely pass this once, pass the stash once I finish this. So if next time, like whenever you see me start this, soon after, I'll do a pass the stash as well. That is so fun. Thank you again so much, Trisha. I cannot wait to stitch that. Okay, and actually, I think actually, let's get into the FFOs. So I made my pear tree into a pillow, but I have another piece of this 28 count that might look really cool and like vintagey on the other piece of this. So I don't know, maybe that's what I'll do with it. But yeah, so this is my pear tree tea pillow. The pattern is Pear Tree In by Little House Needleworks. I changed the size of the house, I changed the color of the house, I changed up almost all of the colors, and I changed it from saying Pear Tree In to Pear Tree Tea by just using the already charted letters, and I left off all of the words that were over here and the established down here. But really cute fabric that I had in my closet. So that is done. So excited about that. And then this one I finally finished. So I did a swap back in, I don't remember how long ago it was, but we did an international love swap, and it was 7 of us, and we were all from different continents and countries, except me and Becca were both in the US, except I'm obviously in Texas and she was in New York. And so she charted up this little kit. She sent everybody some little square of Ada. She sent everyone black and red thread, and then she sent along a little chart. So I finally finished this sometime last year, and then I made it into a little tiny pillow. So I did 2 canvas finishes. So we have Halloween Cat by Satsuma Street. So so he is done, and after I show him at my meeting on Monday, he will go in my Halloween stuff. So I'm trying to get this Potter fur that's lingering on there. So Halloween Cat by Satsuma Street. Super cute. Check her out on Etsy. Another canvas finish. I finished almost all of my Satsuma Streets, at least all the animal Satsuma Streets on canvases. I don't know why. I just really like the way they turn out. So this is Cactus Cat. So I've done all three of the cats. I've done Garden Cat, Cactus, Halloween Cat, and then I've done Good Morning, which is the rooster. And Garden Cat and Good Morning are in my kitchen. So I want to put this one in my kitchen, but I don't have a space this wide. So I'm going to have to find somewhere else to put it. All right. So the last 4 FFOs that I did this week, I think I did them like yesterday or the day before. Probably yesterday. Not really sure. So I got May blocked. And all of my color conversions for these are in the previous blog that is already posted or the one that's coming out today or tomorrow. So we have May. Just remember I changed almost all the colors. I also changed this from saying baskets to flowers. So I did a little bit of reworking of the pattern for that. We have June. Again, I had that little bit of a mess up, but it all worked out. And then also this was supposed to say beach and I made it say swim. And I made those orange instead of white. And I did an off-white color on the bucket. So yeah, really, really, really love that one. July, again, I did a cream, a darker blue, and a darker red. And white only with the word. I changed up the word color and I changed the stars from being white to the gold. I really, really love this one. But I think so far my absolute favorite has got to be August. And I did change the word inside of the watermelon. It was supposed to say sunny and I changed it to say yum. Because, I mean, I'm in Texas, obviously it's sunny, and hot. But, no, really, I thought it would be really cute if it said yum, so it would be a shorter word, and then I could put little seeds in there because, I don't know about y'all, but I still love eating watermelon, but, I used to love eating it as a kid, and me and my cousins would have, seed fights where we would shoot seeds at each other from our mouths. It was the 80s and the 90s, guys. And the other thing, the main other thing that I did, obviously I changed some of the colors, but I filled in the little seed holes. They were supposed to stay open, but because of my color of fabric, I just thought it would be too light coming through. So I made it the same color that I made this outside. The outside of this is supposed to be the green of the stem in the border. So instead I made it a brown color, and again, all my colors for this one are going to be on the blog that goes up today or tomorrow. Okay, so I talk about my Word document and my Excel spreadsheet a lot. So I thought I would print out what I do with my spreadsheets. And show y'all what I do and how I keep track of everything. And if you want to use these methods, you're more than welcome. But this is just what I like to do. And yeah, so I have a workbook that has 5 worksheets on it. The first worksheet is this one right here. So this is like all patterns. So I have designer, title, I have my fabric count. So obviously if it's 14, 16, I know that that's 8 up, but once it gets into like 36, 32, that kind of thing, I know that I like did that one on like linen and that kind of stuff. the fabric company if I know it. So if it's just a piece of Hobby Lobby that I didn't dye, so like the Hobby Lobby oatmeal or something like that, I just leave it saying Hobby Lobby. If it's Hobby Lobby fabric, but I came home and I dyed it, then I called it the dyed Panda. And then pretty much the only other ones that I have some Barbarelle Creation on there, Picture This Plus, and Fabrics by LJ are pretty much the only fabrics that I've ever used. And then I have the fabric color name. There are a few that I don't know the name of. And I can't remember, but like this one right here, Picture This Plus, and then I put Coastal, but then I put Modified because I modified it. That was for Angels Sang. Okay, so then I put the start year and then the finish year. And then I put if it's FFO'd. Okay, so I have the whole list of everything that I've like finished. So I do have a fair amount of things finished, but I also have a fair amount of things that are WIP. So these ones with dates next to them. And then the other thing that I do is I custom sort, and I have lots of layers to that. So I custom sort first by if it has an end date, okay? So end date, then start date, then by designer, and then by name. So all of my ones that have start dates, you can see. So I put start dates for the ones that I'm wanting to start. Oh no, I hadn't yet whenever I printed this out. All right. So then these down here, these are all the ones that I want to hopefully start this year. Okay, and so then at the bottom, and then I also, the ones that I want to start, I kind of start like picking out what fabrics I want for those. Okay, so then on my total row, it has, which column is that? All right, so I have 96 that have a start year. I have 50 of those that have a finish year. And then I have 31 out of the 50 have been FFO'd. And that was at the time that I printed this, which was a few days ago or even last week. And if it was, I think it was last week and I just forgot to show this in last week's video. My bad. And then I have some extra calculations down here. So percentage finished, percentage unfinished, and then percentage of the finished FFO'd. So I have all my percentages as well. Like I said, I love Excel and I love statistics. I love fact finding. It's just a part of who I am. So I'm very much into like pivot tables and factoring all of like my statistics on how I'm doing with my stitching and all of that. And it's pretty lame, but I enjoy it and it helps keep me organized. So if this kind of thing is something that you would be interested in, I talk about it all the time. And so I thought I would finally just like show it to y'all. Okay, so the next page in my workbook is my WIP list. So also on this sheet, and I didn't print it out, but also on this worksheet, I have a second table. And it has stuff that I want to start, but it's not going to happen in this year. And so I just start building up that list of things that I want to start, but not in the year. And sometimes things that I buy, like they go on this year's list and sometimes they go on next year's list. And it just depends if I realistically think that I can get that started and maybe get some good progress on it. Because I look at my WIPs differently than what I used to whenever I started all the things. I do look at things a little bit differently, and I try to have some kind of game plan for finishing them. I've talked about that, especially in the last like several months with, you know, like I keep on saying, decluttering really changes the way that you look on all of your projects. Like I still want to start all the things, but at the same time, I only want to start all the things that I could actually find purpose for in my house, and not just stitch everything because I think it's pretty, because I think almost everything is pretty, but I definitely can't stitch almost everything, and almost everything also doesn't go with majority of my house. So, you know, I can't stitch too many Hades because I have no place to put them. I can't stitch too many giant samplers because, again, I have no place to put them. So I really have to be more conscious of what I'm stitching. So that's another reason why a lot of my older WIPs are quite large, and a lot of my newer stuff is not so much, and they're easily made into things like pillows. So it's kind of, I don't know, it's changed me. I still want to do my craft, but I just want to be more smart about it and just not start things over the hype and all that kind of stuff. And this kind of stuff actually really helps me stay away from some of the hype. So I've noticed a significant difference in the things that I'm stitching and in what I'm like wanting to pick up and actually work on and stuff, the more I got into doing all of this kind of thing. And I've had this for the last year. So if you've seen my transformation in the last year on my ideas about stitching and starting and all of that kind of stuff, and trashing old WIPs that I no longer want anything to do with, this has been a part of that. And I know that I keep on mentioning it, and like I said, I just wanted to finally share it with y'all by printing it out. So the next page is my WIP list. Like I said, there's a second table over here that just says designer name and pattern name, and it just sits there waiting for 2020 at this point. And like I said, some stuff like the Scary Apothecary, I'm gonna buy those this year. I'm not foreseeing me working on them this year, but working on them in 2020, but I don't know. They may come in and they may get moved to the bottom of this list, and something else get booted until the next year. It just depends. So I changed my mind, and I can fluidly move things. That's the beauty of this. So again, on this page, my main table is basically my current open WIPs. So this tab is a list of everything, finished stuff, FFO things, but this is just open projects and things that I finished in 2019, so that way I can really see my statistics for the current year starting January 1st. So I did this last year, and it was so satisfying to select all the top ones and delete them because they were finished. It was just really nice. And I also got to see how many I was finishing in the different months, which this year, if I continue at the rate that I'm going, I'm gonna have way better statistics than I did last year. Okay, so I have designer name, although I titled it company on here on this one, I don't know why, but designer name, title of the pattern, year started, so a lot of the same information, but this one is a little bit different. I have pages done, percentage of those pages done. Is it a WIP? Yes or no, or finished? Is it finished? Yes or no? And what month did I finish it in? Okay, so these last three are all drop downs. So, and I had to put a third one for yes, no, finished for WIP because it affected some stats down in the bottom. So this basically just shows me what all I have finished. So those were my January finishes. Okay. And then, it shows me what I have left. The ones that are highlighted in a darker color on the computer, those are red. So I went through and I highlighted in red the WIPs and new starts that are a part of my, 12 finishes for my quilt guild. Sorry, I just sounded like a robot there. I don't know why I had trouble thinking. But so I went and I highlighted them so that way I knew, you know, they would catch my eye, like, don't forget you need to work these in, into your rotation. So that's the first page. Okay, and through what has a date, that's my actual WIPs. And then it starts the list of things that I would also like to start and possibly, if I'm able to, finish this year. And some of those are going to get started in February. Do I think these will all get started? No, but it's, you know, it's stuff that I would love to work on this year, and where I put it in the priorities list, I don't know yet. And so some of my older ones may continue on to next year, and maybe that means that I give some of them up. I don't know yet. Okay, so I currently have 5. So in my total row, I currently have 5 actual like total finishes. And this doesn't say FFO'd or anything like that. It's just like I finished stitching it. So far in January, I finished 5. I have a total of 80 projects listed. So active, not active, or I mean finished, not yes, no, finished does not include. So 80 projects listed for the year of 2019 that are WIPs or that I want to make a WIP. Okay, so 80 projects on those 2 pages. And then 46 of them are currently active WIPs. So that's how that reads, okay? And then it says percentage finished, percentage unfinished. So I have 11% of my 46 WIPs finished and 89% of them not finished. So we're trying to lower that number, okay? All right, so this is something that I added literally the other day because I was keeping track of it on a bullet page in my planner this year for every month, but I decided that I also wanted to make a digital version of that. I don't know why I would need it in both places, but it just sounded like a good idea the other day. So I created a third. The third page is a pivot of workbook or worksheet number 2. This is technically worksheet number 4 in my workbook. So I just have like January, I have designer and title, and then the days of the month. And then I've been putting an X on whatever day for whatever pattern I worked on it. So for some of them, it's really fun that I just like worked on it until it was done. You can kind of see, I can see how many days it took me to either finish that project or finish that project. So that's been really fun to see, like how fast I've also been stitching so far this year. And then also for February, I know that today is February 1st. Like honestly, January was the longest year I've ever had at work, at least. But February, if you can see, I have some patterns already listed. So these are the ones that I would love to work on, start, and hopefully finish some in the month of February for this year. So I thought I would give you all a little sneaksy peeksies of that. So I would love to work more on the Barbara Anna's I Give You My Heart. Actually, I would love to finish it. I really want to finish the hands-on design, a year of celebration, September. I'm not going to beat myself up a whole lot if I don't finish September and February though. I did get the last 4 blocks that I needed because I did go to Hobby Lobby today and they had more of the size blocks that I need. So I need to even prep the finish for that anyways. But I've kind of enjoyed getting 4 months done in a single month, and I know that I can't get September through December finished in February because there are some that I definitely want to work on this month, and so that would take, you know, like at least 10 days out of the running for that, and so those might get pushed to March. So if I don't get to September, I'm not going to beat myself up over it. I want to start Barbara Anna's Feast of Friendship. Now, I'm guessing like pretty hardcore that this is going to take me more than a month to finish this, but I definitely want to get going on it. I want to start the hands-on designs around the holidays collection. So I'm going to start with Oh Say Can You See, and I'm going to do them in all the little pillows, not the drums, so the little flat stack. I think is what she called it. My Little House Needleworks spring and winter ABCs. I really want to finish spring, and I think I can this weekend. And then I really want to get the winter one worked on. And then I will hopefully want to start summer. So I've been taking that to work, and that's been like my work lunch hour stitch. The only reason why I've gotten a lot more progress this week on spring is because I've also worked on it in the evenings at home, not just an hour at work every day. So we'll see what happens throughout the month, but I think the ABCs are still going to be my lunch stitch at work. So I should, by the end of the month, at least have winter finished and hopefully summer started. So I'm pretty happy about that. Ionomy is definitely going to get finished this month. I want to work a little bit more on Go Green this month. I would love to have Go Green finished by April for Earth Day. And I'm about 50% finished with Lizzie Kate's Wouldn't It Be Great? So I would also really love to get some really good work in on that. And then my last one that I really want to start is Plum Street Samplers, Mrs. Bingley's Library. And so I've already made my working copy of that one and Feast of Friendship. Those are the only two other than Summer ABCs, which I also made my working copy, printed all of them out. So, oh, we need to do Oh Say Can You See. So I've got to pull fabric and threads and get them kitted so that way they're available to start whenever in February, and I cannot wait to work on those. So I'm really hoping, honestly, to finish spring ABCs, the Ionomy piece, I Give You My Heart, and I should be able, if I start Oh Say Can You See, I should be able to finish that one. And I'm also hoping Wouldn't It Be Great? So it would be really cool if I could finish those 5 and possibly also winter ABCs. It'd be really great if I could get those 5 to 6 finished. So I'm setting my sights high, guys. So those are the ones that I really want to work on this month. Okay. So the final thing, I was not expecting this video to be this long, but I knew that I would talk a lot about how I organize what I'm working on and what I have as WIPs. But like I've said a couple of times, I just thought it was time to actually show you how I lay it out. Okay, and so I won't talk as much about this because it's pretty self-explanatory, but I took this idea from Helga Marie, and one of the things that she did was in a Word document, she created a table and she put all of her WIPs with pictures of what the finished piece was supposed to look like. And so she has a visual list as well. So this is something that has really super helped me. It's also helped me decide, like, do I still want to stitch on that? Do I still like that? Because I'm seeing a visual of what the end result is going to be. And then I can think back to how I'm doing it. So, and it's also helping me pick out of, in my list, what I want to actually do. So far, these are my WIPs. So these are part of the 40 WIPs that I have. And actually, I printed this out the other day. So I've already added up here the ones that I want to start in February and already added them to the list of WIPs because they're happening. So I already count them as started. And then the other thing that I didn't do last year and I started doing it this year was I put visuals of the 2019 want to start list. So all those other ones on the list that I want to start this year, so I have a visual of those as well. And I know some of them, like I said, I won't get to and they'll have to wait till 2020, but having a visual, I mean, there are some that I'm just drawn to and I know that I want to start them this year, like Feast of Friendship and Miss Bingley's Library, and my Sing a Sampler, which I've already stitched, but I want to stitch one for myself. And and you know, the little pillows from Hands On Design. All the ABCs this year is a definite must. I want to finish the laundry series. All of that, okay? Plus some other things. So it's just a visual, so it's also helping me. I not only want to work on the WIPs, so I look at visually which WIPs would I want to work on this month. What am I feeling? Okay, and I can't look at, for me, I've gotten to a point where I can't look at where is my WIP right now, because then I don't always have the desire to work on it. I have to see, what is this WIP going to turn into? And then I have a little bit more drive to actually do it. And then I'm trying to start a few things also throughout the year. I don't want to limit myself and be like, oh, I have to finish X amount. I have to finish 2 before I can start 1 or anything like that. I would rather closer to the beginning of the month start one, and if it's speaking to me that much, I stitch a little bit faster and I hopefully get it done. So that's how I organize all my stuff digitally, for what my WIPs are and what I want to be working on. And also the ones that are highlighted on here, again, these are red. So on the visual picture one, it's just another visual to tell me that one's on my, it has to be done this year. And whenever one is finished off of like the top half of this document, not the wish list half, but like the actual, it's a WIP half. Whenever it's done, I just delete it. I delete it off. So it's no longer a visual representation. And then I shuffle things up so that way, you know, it starts shrinking. So that's literally what I've been doing to keep myself organized, keep myself motivated for the last, I would say like the last year and a half. I've been doing at least the Excel document to some degree, at least the last year. I know that. And then this one I started doing last year at some point, but I don't remember exactly when. So, anyways, I know this was super long-winded and a lot of explanation, but I had a lot of finishes. I only had 3 WIPs, so I know I didn't show all of that for that long today, but I hope they all really enjoy this video. Hopefully there'll be, you know, some more finishes next week. Maybe a couple more FFOs, because I think I know what I'm going to do with those 4 with dye needles. And yeah, I think I know what I'm going to do with them. So hopefully I can get those finished, and hopefully I can get spring and Ionomy finished. So I'm hoping that there will be a fair amount to show you next week. And again, we won't have this like chit-chatty timeout either. So really get to spend a little bit more time with the stitches side of everything. But I hope that y'all had a fantastic week of stitching. It is February 1st, so I hope you have a fantastic beginning to the month, and I will see y'all next week. Bye, guys.